So he'd be out there every morning because we knew there'd be friends on board. So we're able to kind of peek out of with the shades up. I mean, down, peeking out, and he saw quite a few people and all. And then we continued on, and of course, as long as they had troop trains or anything else coming through, we were put on the siding, and finally got into thinking to Utah, and thinking to Ogden, and then from there we were taken down to a town of Delta, and that was the so-called Topaz Relocation Center. And so we got there, and we were there from August of '42 until August of 1945. Life in camp, like in the assembly center, was everyone lived basically in one room. Like I said, we were fortunate. We had a brand new barrack, but still just one room for our entire family, a family of four. Others had to live in horse stables with cots, and I think initially we had what they called the mattresses of ticking, which was mattresses with mattress cover and then straw, and then eventually they brought around some mattresses and whatnot. Eating, our meals are all served in community mess halls, and of course we all had to line up to go in, and he kind of went by barracks as to eating. I completed my grammar school education in Tamparan. Our teachers were made up of the internees themselves, and the perimeter of the camps were, we had barbed wire and armed guards, to make sure no one escaped, and etc. Keeping silent, I think in many cases is an individual thing. We had nothing to be ashamed of or anything, but and even to this day, even myself, I think when I think about it, I didn't even tell Denise or Karen anything about camp or anything else. And I think in my case, that was just a matter of something that I experienced, and something that I was hoping they would never ever experience. Then again, too, they never asked, so we never said anything about it. And for a lot of them, when they were kind of asked, I think some say they were. I don't know why they would say that they were ashamed. I mean, there was nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, we can't change the color of our skin or our ancestry or anything else. But on the West Coast, prejudice was very rampant. And, I think General DeWitt had made the statement, once a Jap, always a Jap. And there was a lot of things I think that just kind of hurted, and it was just kind of an inner feeling, and a lot of them just didn't want to talk about it. I mean, it was for many, I think it was painful, especially the older ones, to be have your civil rights taken away without any justification or anything else. I myself, when I'm called for jury duty and whatnot, and when you have to serve on a jury, and you have to determine a fate of a person or a case or something. For some reason, I've all along have never could really serve, and this was because of, I guess, my own experience. It was never there, but somehow or another, I guess it was still in the back of my mind, and I guess I just felt that everyone is guilty until they prove themselves innocent, rather than the other way around. As a court say and whatnot. And even when I do go for have to go for jury duty, and they call me up, when the judge asked, I always stand up and tell them that. And then again, when you think about it, I think for some East Says and some families, some say it was a blessing in disguise for them, but I don't see where that so-called blessing in disguise came from. I mean, yes, we a lot of us didn't have a lot of things, but still, we have family and whatnot. And, so. From time to time, you do hear people saying that, well, that was the best thing that happened to that family. But now I don't know if they're saying that in jest or if they really meant it. I think when these things happened, they just kind of, took over a shrug and said, shkatanai, one of those things. And what the old, I guess, thinking of gamang and, things of this nature. But I'm glad that at least the Sanseis, well, I'm basically a Sansei too, but the younger Sanseis and young Seis and whatnot don't look at it that way, and I think they're much more open than I think we ever were. And a lot of this, because of the younger Sanseis and young Seis and whatnot, I mean, this all came out eventually. If it wasn't for them, I think it still would have been just a period of history of evacuation and whatnot, see. And I even mentioned it to different people. I said, I think the whole thing was they singled out a single group, and regardless of citizenship or anything else, and decided, well, hey, you're going to go, period.